This tea is hot.
Spill it, girl.
Hey y'all, welcome to our first video of
2022. It's a whole new year, y'all. So for our first video, we wanted to kick it off because New York Fashion Week is coming back in February. And we really just finally wanted to open up about what it's been like for us and what our hopes are for the industry.
Because honestly, y'all, New York Fashion Week really makes me question about why I'm in the industry.
Not gonna lie, it's a time when you get to see the good and the bad of the people and of the industry, and you really have to ask yourself why you're doing this and let that keep you going. First, you have the hectic schedule, which usually has us running around all over the city, trying to get something to eat between shows and parties. It's a really physical experience that can take its toll on you.
So if you want to hear the tea, follow along. But first,
did you subscribe? Okay, now let's
get to it. Let's spill that tea, hon.
Being black in the space, even when you get in certain rooms, you might still have to deal with people questioning why you're there.
And this will sound superficial, but New York Fashion Week is all about appearances. So what car you got off at? What clothes are you wearing? Who are you going to see, most importantly?
And what you look like, right? So I remember when we were pulling up to the Tory Burch show in 2018, and this was our first major show. We had like posted about it, we were doing a takeover.
You showed out.
Your girls showed out, and then we get to the door, and the lady, one of the people who worked there, stopped us right then and there, and she was like, "Do you work here?"
Child.
Imagine that. We're dressed head to toe, Tory Burch, obviously looking like we're attending the show. So for this lady to be questioning why we're there, that took us back. But not gonna lie, we didn't really let that get to us.
Not at all. I mean, we have a thick skin. We know we're here for a reason, and this lady's not gonna stop me from being there.
So I looked at her and I was like, I wanted to say, I don't, but you do though. But somebody saw us and she was just like, all right, Chelsea and Chrissy, you can go in. But this was just like a preview of microaggressions we almost always do it. Like this was 2018, but it happened to someone literally last season.
Yeah.
Like every year you hear rants, you hear headlines, like you see it happening. But personally, we've grown a thick skin over the years, so we just kind of carry on.
On to the next. No lie, I didn't know what burnout meant until last season of Fashion Week.
It was a lot, y'all. First of all, it came back during the pandemic when we weren't sure it was still gonna happen. And there were so many shows and parties in like the span of just 4, 5, 6 days. So you really have to be intentional about your schedule because you can quickly burn out.
So when we make our schedule, we prioritize the brands that we've worked with in the past, so like Tory Burch, Kate Spade, or brands that we're really interested in building a relationship with, like Saks.
Yeah, last season we got to attend the Saks party, which was probably the littiest one, honestly, if you ask me. And then there was Alice and Olivia. There are always brands that like we're either curious to see what they're doing or that our brands make sense with, and we'll explore the relationships.
So you have all these hours of preparation with like your hair, your makeup, you get your pictures taken, but the show is like 10 minutes
or less. I guess to people looking at it on the outside, it sounds kind of crazy, but it's all about the experience of going to the show. Like from the moment you walk in.
And most importantly, about being seen. I know photographers from Vogue Germany, Vogue Italia come in just to discover models on the street.
So you don't really have that when you're working like all the clips, but then you see your friends, you talk to them for a little bit, and then maybe a photographer offers to like photograph you all together. Then you rub shoulders with the people you've been working with all year. It's really just about that little like in-person moment before the show. And then the show happens and you get to appreciate what the designer is presenting. I know seeing Tory Burch every year is like always a treat to see how like they're evolving over time. And then you have to get to the next thing.
Yeah, you probably have less than an hour to get to the next show, which could be uptown, could be downtown, who knows. And the subway is most likely the best way to get around.
Yeah, not gonna lie, like all the cars create this like huge traffic, so like you're better off not even checking your Uber app, just jump straight into the subway. But now I know there are certain times like certain outfits you wear, you'll look crazy on the runway, right, on the subway, but you kind of just have to think about it like that, and hopefully you buffer in some time so that you can get from one show to the other. But it's all about the shows. It's always cool to see what different designers are doing and where they choose to host the show, because usually that like fits into their story. Like Laquan Smith last year when they rented out like the Empire State Building. Like I'm sure that would have been a cool one to see. Then you get to the parties.
And it gets crazy, y'all. We went to the Saks party, and I'm sure they spent a cool money on this. They had like a champagne tower that was like rumored to be Dom Perignon or Ace Brugold. And I'm just like,
she knows her champagne names, y'all.
Yeah, and they had like celebrity appearance, TikTok. I know they were paid people who were there. So I'm just like, these people have the budget.
So those evenings, like the champagne is free flowing, the people all around, y'all just dancing. It's good vibes. Honestly, I feel like that's where the parties are at, but the shows are just sort of like the lead up to it.
Yeah.
So it don't sound excessive, and I'm not gonna lie, it is. Between all, the huge parties that are just like hour long only and all the changes of looks and stuff, like I think there are things we can do a little better in the future. I think overall since COVID, we've noticed that less collections are showing. Like the New York Fashion Week schedule, for example, is
very limited.
It's a little sparse. But there are some really cool designers that are making their debut. Like last season, you had Peter Doe, and you're seeing more Black designers as well, like Quan Smith, Sergio Hudson might be doing something. You have more like diversity overall, Jason Wu, Prabal Gurung, and the different models, Telfar, let's not even talk about it. You got the girls by the chokehold. So it's all really exciting. I feel like we're getting, at least the minorities tend to get the visibility that they need. But we still have to deal with bigger questions of like sustainability. Where is this all going? What's the point of it all? But if you're someone who loves fashion, like you just genuinely geek out about shows, like me and Chris, we be on Vogue Runway,
like looking at Christian Dior,
what other, I know, right?
Like haute couture.
Where's my invite at? So I think if you have a true appreciation for fashion, you'll get it. But you just have to try not to like get too caught up with the hype and just stay focused, on your why. So we thought it would be fun to do a round of rapid fire questions. Shoot.
So what are the top 3 designers you want to see?
New York, okay, in New York, Peter Doe, Telfar, Tommy Hilfiger.
But for me, for Paris, it would be Schiaparelli, Gucci, LV. Period.
Shows or parties?
That's a tough one, but I'll say shows.
I'll say both if I can choose that.
No, you can't.
Okay, shows.
Thank you.
Uber or Subway?
Uber. I'm putting up in an Uber Han. Black. Thank you. In the winter, Uber Han. All in all, the industry has a long way to go in terms of promoting a more sustainable future by making less and better clothes.
I hear that. And in terms of the casting, like I'm so tired of talking about the same things year over year, but I don't know why it's taking so long to show more body diversity, racial diversity, and all those other like signs of inclusion that we're like begging the industry to show us. And in terms of the experience, honestly, it's what you make of it. You just have to be really intentional about the shows that you go to and the people that you engage with.
Because people be living a different life. It's like on social media, like they don't know you, but then when at the show, they'll be like, oh my God, hey girl, what's up,
That's a story for another time.
It sure is. Whew, I feel like that was a lot.
Child, my teeth done got cold now. But there you have it, y'all. The real about
New York Fashion Week. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up.
If anything we shared resonated with you, just leave us a comment. We'd love to see if you've had any experiences or if there's a designer that you're excited to see.
And make sure to subscribe, y'all. We need the subscribes,
For more, fashion, real lifestyle tutorials, and all of that. We'll see you
next time.